What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you joining me once again. If you would, right out of the gate, please hit that subscribe button. To all of you who have done that, to all of you that have subscribed to my channel and keep coming back and listening to me rant about this, that, and the third, I really appreciate it. I'm very grateful, and I want to thank you guys for that. So that's a good segue to, I hope you hit that subscribe button for me. I would appreciate it, okay? So I want to give a little disclaimer here before I start. This story, if you are a person who gets irate when innocent children are treated in depraved, deplorable ways, then this story is definitely going to trigger you. It did me. I have a background in education, so I've worked with children of this age before. Plus, I have two sons, and I love my boys. I love my boys so much, and to think about something like this happening to innocent children, just, I mean, there are no descriptive words on how angry it makes me. But calm down, bro. Get to the story. Don't step all over the story. A lot of you probably have already heard of it. It's obviously made national news. I mean, literally, it broke the internet. Okay. The title of the article is "Wealthy Gay Couple Who Raped Their Adopted Boys Given 100 Years in Prison." So let me just let that sink in for a minute before we get started on reading this article. Two gay dads will spend the rest of their lives jailed after their sick rape ring and horrific sexual abuse of their adopted sons were unveiled. William Zulock, 34, and Zachary Zulock, 36. These things right here. See these things? Yeah, it's those things. Is who I'm talking about. And I'm going to show these pictures multiple times because I want people to see this face of evil. I want everyone to be able to look upon this face and know that you want to know what evil looks like? That's what it looks like. Okay. They were sentenced to 100 years in prison without parole after pleading guilty to a slew of crimes. These included aggravated sodomy, child molestation, incest, and sexual exploitation of children. Prosecutors revealed the couple's crimes extended beyond their home, with the pair recording the abuse of their two boys aged 10 and 12 and distributing it to other pedophiles. Messages uncovered during the investigation showed the men discussing the abuse in a chilling amount of detail, even offering their kids to others in a depraved child exploitation network. These two defendants truly created a house of horrors and put their extremely dark desires above everything and everyone else. However, the resolve of those fighting for justice and the strength of the victims is truly inspiring. The Zulocks adopted their two sons, then just 3 and 5 years old, in 2018 through a now defunct Christian adoption agency. Defunct means it's closed down. Really? Huh. Wonder why. Wonder why. On social media, they presented an image of a picture perfect family. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that alone. Sharing glimpses of their life in a $900,000 home in suburban Atlanta. Okay? So, if you're one of those people that thinks one of the biggest risk factors to harm, abuse, and or neglect of children is financial status or socioeconomic status, this is for you to see. This is for you to see. Because, these kids lived in an almost $1 million home in the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia. So, and I think a lot of times these sort of children can even be more at risk because it's because of the front that the two individuals, the two parents were putting on. One of them was a banker, one of them worked in government. You'd never think these guys were doing something like this on the background. You'd never think that. Um, and I think that allows this sort of depraved behavior to go on for way longer than it should. But behind closed doors, authorities said the couple subjected their sons to years of abuse, forcing the boys to perform sexual acts that they filmed and shared. Evidence later revealed that the couple began abusing the boys early after adoption. Okay, so let me remind you of how old they were when they were adopted. 5 and 3 years old. And we're now hearing that this abuse started shortly after the adoption was official. If you are a person that could sodomize a 3-year-old child, oh man, why is our tax money paying to keep these people alive? Someone explain that to me. Uh, I just talked about the other day how President Joe Biden went through 37 different cases of people on death row. He doesn't believe in death row unless it's a situation where a person is like a mass killer where they killed a whole bunch of people and stuff like that. Basically, the Unabomber, he let him still be on death row. But these other 37 murderers were taken off death row and now will just be spending their lives in prison, right? And the part that bothers me about all of this is when I see something like this makes it very apparent and clear to me that there are some crimes that don't necessarily involve murder or taking the life of another person that should warrant execution by the perpetrator. Okay? Because if you would do that to a 3-year-old child, no one's tax dollars should be feeding you 3 meals a day. No one's tax dollars should be giving you any roof over your head, even if it is in a 6x8 jail cell. I mean, I'll pay for the ammunition. If you want to just go ahead and just get them on out of there, I'll pay for that. The case came to light in July 2022 when the Georgia Bureau of Investigation received a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. A Walton County IP address was flagged for uploading child sexual abuse material, which was traced back to the Zulock's home. When police raided the house, they discovered over 7 terabytes of evidence, including surveillance footage showing the couple abusing their children. The footage, along with text messages and graphic images, painted a harrowing picture of these crimes. One particularly disturbing exchange between Zachary Zulock and an associate on Snapchat detailed his plans to abuse one of the boys. One co-defendant, Hunter Lawless, told police that Zachary once sent him a message alleging, "I'm going to my son tonight. Stand by." He also admitted to receiving scam, is that right, from Zachary, and told police that the couple offered their sons to him multiple times. Lawless was detained after downloading a substantial amount of child. There's these buzzwords. If I'm getting demonetized, then you know, that's okay. That's okay for this one. I just want to get this off my chest, and I want to put these things right here. I want to put their faces out there for everybody to see. Everybody to see. There's not one person that's not going to see these creeps' faces. All right. Anyway, Lawless was detained after downloading a substantial amount of child. which authorities tracked down to his Gmail address. He acknowledged to receiving child sex abuse material from Zachary and was later sentenced to 20 years in prison, with the first 12 to be served behind bars. Another associate, Luis Sanchez, also admitted to receiving incriminating messages from Zachary. He pleaded guilty to pandering to a person under 18. Sanchez received a 60-year sentence after pleading guilty to an unrelated offense of stealing computers from his job, the first 15 of which will be served in prison. Both William and Zachary Zulock pleaded guilty to their charges in separate hearings earlier this year. During Zachary's trial, Judge Jeffrey Foster found him guilty of 2 additional counts of incest, leading to the maximum sentence of 100 years without parole. At their sentencing, prosecutors highlighted the bravery of the victims who provided testimony that helped ensure their abusers would never walk free again. These boys endured unimaginable suffering, but their courage has been a beacon of hope for others, McGinley said. The case has also prompted scrutiny over adoption processes after it was revealed that hear this part, that Zachary Zulock had previously been accused of raping another boy in 2011. So, marinate on this for a minute, okay? This Zachary Zulock, this thing right here, had previously been accused back in 2011 of raping a child. Okay, now it doesn't say that he was convicted, but you would think even if you are accused of something like that, you don't get to adopt children. You know, I mean, unless you're being extorted, and you're some sort of famous person that's being extorted for something. You, mm, that part blows my mind. If their adoption processes were more in line with their supposed Christian beliefs, since this was a Christian adoption agency, I'll just leave that one alone. But I'm not talking junk about Christian. Like, listen, I know I'm getting all over the place, but this is kind of the end of it. Um, and the rest, I'm just kind of going to be talking about it anyway. So yeah, let me go off on my tangent now. So and you look at the fact that some people would look at that and point to the fact that, oh, the irony that it was a Christian adoption organization. Okay. And I want to be clear that there are millions and millions and millions of Christians across the world that would never condone or take part in something like this. Okay. And I'm not saying the adoption agency, this particular one, did or did not, but I will say that that deserves a deep dive into the background of every adoption that particular agency has done. I mean, it says now they've been closed down since, and I imagine that's directly related. That that bothers me because that's not indicative of a Christian organization. There can be a an overtly Christian organization or a self-proclaimed Christian organization that can be filled with a bunch of evil people. It's an organization. It has employees, okay? And those employees, you don't know what kind of personal faith they really have. They could claim to be Christian, and then they go in there and they just, you know, all this woke shit going on. They just give a child to whoever, you know. And the second thing, and this is kind of where I'm going to end it. Um, Obviously it's a gay couple. Okay, it's a gay couple. Now I want to be clear that I don't necessarily agree with the lifestyle. I'm obviously heterosexual. I don't necessarily agree with the lifestyle, but I've known quite a few gay people. and I've known them from all accounts to be good people. I don't want people to see this and then, think that this happened because these two men are gay, right? This is something completely different. This is something completely above and beyond just homosexuality, okay? This is not homosexuality. This is a sickness of pedophilia, is what this is, okay? And there's plenty of gay people out there that aren't pedophiles, okay? And there's plenty of Christians out there that their Christian agencies would never support something like this happening, right? Or they never condone something like this happening. But, uh, you know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Should there not be certain crimes that do not necessarily involve taking the life of another person or murdering another person that the perpetrator should get the death penalty? I think this is a perfect example. Perfect example. If you're the type of person that would do that to a 3 and a 5-year-old child, okay, you do not deserve to be sucking air, okay? You do not deserve to be sucking air. And I loathe the fact that our tax dollars are in part paying to keep these monsters alive in prison, okay? How do you think these prisons get paid for? Federal tax dollars? Tax dollars on a state level? You damn skippy. That's exactly how that stuff gets paid. That's exactly how his meal gets paid for. That's exactly how these two animals' room and board gets paid for. And they get to visit the library a few times a week and go look at books and read things and do this and that and the third. It yeah, I just need to go because I'm past infuriated just thinking about this. But anyway, yeah. Sorry to break it to you guys. This is the world that we live in. This We live in a world gone this far south. Sorry to tell you, where just a regular guy like me is, getting on my small YouTube channel and bitching and complaining about horrific, horrific crimes perpetrated against children. Okay? Children. Yeah, I don't think they should be alive. Why are they still alive? President Biden just recently pardoned and commuted 37 death penalties of murderers to life in prison instead of death, right? But yet, people who do something like this, which in my opinion is even worse than murder, because you have to stop and think how this has affected these children. These children will never, ever be the same as a result of this. Ever. Never. I mean, this has probably, I pray to God that his healing hand is just on them and that they are able to come out of this and live a good, happy, productive life. I pray that. Not only to take advantage of children in that way, but they're not gay. They're kids. They don't know what they are yet. You took that choice away from them too. You took everything away from these kids. Everything. But yet you still get to keep your life. You get to keep your life. Yeah. Yeah. You still get to breathe air. Our taxpayers get to pay for you. And I want to leave this These are the guys I'm talking about right here. Right here. These guys. The ones gallivanting around at the LGBTQ parades. Yeah. I better go before this whole video just gets completely taken off YouTube. Alright, I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel if you would like the video and comment down below. I will see you on the next one. Peace.